The 25 of April Bridge, with its soaring crimson towers and sweeping cables, stands today not just as an engineering marvel spanning the Tagus River but as an enduring symbol of Portugal's peaceful return to democracy in April 1974. Centuries earlier, the Aguas-Livres aqueduct, commissioned after the devastating 1755 earthquake, brought pure spring water from the Sintra Hills across soaring arches into the heart of Lisbon, transforming public health and urban life. These two monumental works of civil architecture bookend a narrative of resilience and innovation. From the aqueduct's graceful stone arches to the bridge's modern steel expanse, they remind us that visionary infrastructure shapes societies. Today, as we explore places, cutting-edge tech scenes and dynamic real estate landscapes of Lisbon and Cascais in Portugal alongside Camboriú and Florianópolis in Brazil. Lisbon, top 5 places to visit. If you like soccer games, this is a champion from Portugal, Benfica soccer team, with their stadium and fantastic infrastructure. They are located in Lisbon. The Tower of Belém was erected between 1514 and 1519 under King Manuel I as part of Lisbon's defensive network on the Tagus estuary. Designed by Francisco de Arruda in the ornate Manuelan style, it served both as a ceremonial gateway for returning explorers and as a stronghold guarding the river mouth. Over the centuries it has been strengthened, used as a prison, and finally restored in the late 20th century. At Lisbon's highest hill, St. George Castle boasts a history of continuous occupation since at least the 8th century BC, with Roman fortifications appearing in the 1st century BC. During Moorish rule it formed a key citadel until its capture in the 1147 siege of Lisbon by Afonso Henriques. The modernist complex inaugurated in 1969, the Calouste Gulbenkian Museum showcases the private collection of the Armenian-born oil magnate Calouste Gulbenkian. Alfama is Lisbon's oldest quarter, its name deriving from the Arabic al-Hama, meaning baths or hot springs. Its maze of steep, narrow streets atop the slope between St. George Castle and the Tagus retains much of its medieval Moorish layout, having survived the 1755 earthquake largely unscathed. Originally home to fishermen and working-class families, it later became famed for fado music. Lisbon, from ancient port to modern tech magnet. Lisbon's story began on the banks of the Tagus River more than 3,000 years ago, with pre-Celtic and Phoenician settlers, and was called Alice Ubbo in those times. After that, during the Second Punic War, Lisbon became Roman municipium by 205 BC and was called Felicitas Iulia Olisipo. After about 6 Roman centuries, with the fall of Roman Empire, Visigoths started to rule the city for some centuries, and Moorish rule, 711 AD 1147 AD, left a labyrinthine legacy in the Alfama district. The city's golden age of exploration in the 15th and 16th centuries was crowned by Manuelan monuments like the Tower of Belém and Jerónimos Monastery. In 1755, a catastrophic earthquake and tsunami destroyed much of Lisbon. Under the Marquis of Pombal's guidance, the city rose again. By the 20th and 21st centuries, Lisbon had reinvented itself as a European capital of culture, tourism, and technology. Key industries in Lisbon today. Maritime trade and logistics. Portugal's one of the largest container port on the Atlantic coast. Tourism and culture, 4th most visited city in Europe. Finance and technology services, home to banks, fintechs, and a fast-growing startup ecosystem. Lisbon as a tech hub. Lisbon has cemented its place on the world tech map with events like Web Summit, one of the largest global tech conferences, and an ecosystem that drew over $1.1 billion in startup funding by mid-2025. Leaders such as some unicorns anchor a network of accelerators, co-working spaces, and venture funds. Initiatives like Startup Lisboa, €200 million, a state-backed co-investment fund, and private startup accelerator programs power a pipeline of innovation, earning Lisbon the reputation of one of Europe's fastest-growing tech cities. Cascais, a pleasant place, close to Lisbon. Cascais, Portugal's seaside resort and real estate goldmine. Cascais began as a Roman settlement before rising to medieval prominence as a fishing village. After King Louis I built a summer palace in the 1870s, the town became the high-season retreat of Europe's elite, earning comparisons to the Riviera and Hamptons. Key industries in Cascais today. Tourism and hospitality, casinos, marinas, festivals. Real estate and construction, one of the most expensive property markets in Portugal. Cascais is a real estate growth engine. Finishing this part of the video related to Lisbon and Cascais, we have Jerónimo's Monastery, erected on the banks of the Tagus from 1501 at the behest of King Manuel I, stands as a jewel of Manuelan architecture funded by spice trade levies and housing the tombs of Vasco da Gama and Lois de Camões. Its ornate cloisters and church earned it UNESCO World Heritage status in 1983. Whispering through Lisbon's hills, the city's tram network, born as horse-drawn Americanos in 1873 and electrified from 1901, now operates 6 lines over 31 kilometers, including the beloved 28E that winds past Alfama and Baixa. North of Avenida da Liberdade, Eduardo VII Park unfolds over 26 hectares of terraced lawns and emerald walkways, renamed in 1903 to honor King Edward VII and renowned today for its annual book fair and panoramic viewpoints over the city and river. At the park's south lies Marques de Pombal Square, a grand roundabout radiating major arteries. Here, at this part of the video we are going to show 2 important cities from Brazil, the fantastic Camboriú and Florianópolis beautiful tech hub. Balneário Camboriú began as a small fishing village but was officially emancipated in 1964 and has since exploded into Brazil's premier beach resort city. Its skyline of high-rise towers, known as the Brazilian Dubai, overlooks both urban nightlife and the Atlantic's turquoise waves. Key industries in Camboriú today: tourism and hospitality, beaches, nightlife, theme parks. Real estate development, high-quality and luxurious towers and condos. Service and retail, expanding malls, restaurants, and entertainment. Florianópolis traces its origins to ancient Sambaqui builders and later Carrijo tribes, before Portuguese colonization in the 17th century by Francisco Dias Velho. The island city blended colonial heritage with Azorean culture, becoming a vibrant urban center by the 19th century. Florianópolis, Brazil, island of innovation. Key industries in Florianópolis today: technology and innovation, a leading Brazilian Silicon Island; tourism and recreation, 60 beaches, surfing, kitesurfing, and ecotourism. Higher education and research, Federal University of Santa Catarina and several tech institutes. Florianópolis is a Brazilian tech hub. In 2024, Florianópolis was recognized by LAVCA as Latin America's top emerging tech hub, outpacing rivals on the number of startups funded since 2022. The city's high quality of life, robust digital infrastructure, and government incentives like Floripa Mais Tech, training 1,000 new IT professionals per year, have nurtured unicorns. Florianópolis ranks 3rd in Brazil on the Human Development Index and offers one of the safest, most dynamic ecosystems for investors in tech. From Lisbon's storied cobblestones and burgeoning startup scene to Cascais' seaside luxury legacy, from Camboriú's vertical skyline and real estate surge, to Florianópolis's magic island of tech innovation, these 4 coastal cities share a common thread of reinvention. They honor rich histories, leverage natural beauty, and embrace new industries to forge resilient, dynamic futures.